Because of the extreme heat. Wow, that video, incredible. What can happen here from the heat? Here, more than 30 records for high temperatures were set this weekend across the eastern U.S. and in Missouri. A car went airborne after the road suddenly buckled because of the extreme heat. Wow, that video, incredible. What can happen here from the heat? Here, more than 30.
We are the reason that good is getting from point A to point B, whether it's food. Extreme heat warnings are posted tonight across the central U.S., and we're certainly feeling it here in Texas. Temperatures feel well over 100 degrees, and public health officials say heed those warnings because about 600 Americans die from excessive heat each year. Errol Barnett is in the thick of it.
In Madison, Wisconsin, volunteers are going door to door checking on the elderly. St. Louis is in the excessive heat danger zone, meaning prolonged exposure to heat and humidity could be deadly for the most vulnerable. The National Weather Service's heat warnings cover most of Missouri and 8 other states.
The entire world is seeing an increase in temperature at an unprecedented rate.
This is the first scorching heat wave the country has seen this summer.
What we're currently seeing is that there are twice as many record highs on any given day than there are record lows. And this is really significant. So we will continue to see record-breaking temperatures as we go on into the future.
The dome of heat will head east by the weekend. Portland, Maine will feel like 98 degrees on Saturday. New York City will feel like 112, and in the nation's capital, it will feel like 107. Now, this heat wave will last through Sunday at the very least, but consider this. A recent climate study predicts that the U.S. will face more days that feel like 100 degrees or above. That number, Nora, expected to double by 2050.
That's hot. Errol Barnett, thank you.
Thankfully for the folks here in Chicago, the extreme heat warning expires tonight. Not thankfully as much. The high temperature, at least the feels like temperature today in Chicago, is 103 degrees, meaning one more day of dangerous heat. People finding cool wherever they can, like here at the Bean. The actual name of the sculpture is Cloudgate, but you can see people have been piling in under there to get a little bit of shade. There are also 250 cooling centers set up around Chicago and Cook County, surrounding counties even more than that. But of course, the number one thing you can do to keep cool, drink lots of water. Ideally with electrolytes, keep yourself hydrated as best as you can. The good news is, with that extreme heat warning ending tonight, you think there's going to be a cool down, and there is just a little bit, where the feels like temperature today is 103. It's going to drop to 97 tomorrow. Try to keep cool as best you can.
Summer off to a scorching start. This is not just casual heat we're talking about. From Kansas City to Boston, people across the eastern half of the country struggling to stay cool amid a sweltering heat wave. The fans are all on high. Record high temperatures set on Sunday in parts of Louisiana, Connecticut, and Wisconsin. It is so hot. The heat so intense, 2 Major League Baseball players falling ill at their respective games over the weekend. Seattle Mariners' Trent Thornton having to be helped off the field.
And now Trent needs some help off the field.
The pitcher was treated for heat exhaustion at Wrigley Field in Chicago, where it reached 94 degrees. A state of emergency has been declared for 32 New York counties, as Mayor Adams offered this sobering warning in New York City.
It's one of the most deadly weather conditions that we could experience in our city.
It comes amid severe weather on both coasts, leading to deadly incidents. In Lake Tahoe, 6 people died after a boat carrying 10 people capsized and sank due to a severe thunderstorm.
I'd say 3-foot crashing waves, just battering the beach.
And in upstate New York, a tornado tore through the small town of Clark Mills Sunday, killing 3 people and knocking out power to thousands in the region, as the serious summer heat hangs on and threatens records in dozens of cities today. And on scorchers like this, remember the shade is your friend. Keep those blinds closed inside your home, and if possible, park your car by a tree. City officials pointing out that it just takes 2 minutes in these kinds of conditions for a turned-off vehicle to reach unsafe temperatures. This is a heat that will linger. The heat health emergency, for instance, here in Philadelphia, will remain in effect through Wednesday evening. Craig?
Emily Counterforce there in Philadelphia. Emily, thank you.
All right, let's go to Dylan, who's back in for Al today. Maybe you should have stayed in Alaska, right? With the polar temps, because it's hot here.
Yeah, it certainly was much cooler over there, but the eastern half of the country really dealing with this extreme heat. Your body just can't cool down when it's hot and it's humid like this. And while it's hot today, it might even be hotter tomorrow. So record high temperatures are going to fall. In Flint, Michigan, 97 degrees for a high today. Columbus tying a record of 96. Washington breaking a record with a forecast of 100 degrees. New York up to 95. Burlington, Vermont, 98 degrees today. Tomorrow, 95 in Bangor, Maine. 101 in Boston, 100 in New York. That should break the old record of 96 degrees. And while it will stay warm for areas like D.C. all the way through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, staying up into the 90s. In New York, we'll drop down into the 70s for Friday, and up into Boston, much better, 70s by the end of the week. That's a look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast in the next 30 seconds.